Hi, this is Maria from Future Palace, and you're listening to United Rock Nations.
Hello, guys of United Rock Nations. We are an amazing company with Maria of Future Palace. How are you?
Hi, I'm good. Pretty early start of the day for me still. How
Absolutely.
are you?
So, in a few days, your third album, Distortion, will be released. What is your feeling about this new album?
Yeah, just a week to go. It's really weird. Very quick time pass. It's this year. It feels like this year's on speed. Like it's crazy. So yeah, mixed feelings, to be honest. Like I am
Ah,
excited, but also scared, kind of. And I think that is normal. But with this album, we now have actually an audience. With Run, Run was more like our not really breakthrough album, but that was the album where we gained most people with, and toured with for the first time. And now, having done all of that and collected so many people in this Future Palace family, there are people with expectations, and that is different than like a bit different than from Run. So yeah, I'm kind of scared to like disappoint people, but I hope they will like it and not hear how much stress was in that process of creating the album. Yeah,
everything will be all right.
yeah. Let's hope so. I hope so.
So, this new album seems more heavier than the previous one. Are you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. It is
And
with
why?
Ra
Why the reason why it's more heavier?
The reason, there's not really a big reason. Our guitarist starts doing all the instrumentals, and we'll upload them to Dropbox, and I will have a listen to them. And actually, he's been doing that over the last year. So for him, it was a longer process than for me. He's written a few songs years ago already. Some are very new. And I sat down in like December and started listening to all of them. And at that moment of time, I was actually considering to stop screaming because I was so sick of losing my voice and doing it wrong. And I never really had time to learn a proper technique and get coaching. And I also didn't have money for that. But I listened to the instrumentals, and I know that our fans very much love the heaviness of Future Palace. And with Run, we introduced it the first time ever. And I just learned it randomly. Like I had to make it possible. But I didn't know back then what touring is really like when I did all these songs. And now, after knowing what touring is like, I was like, oh my God, like, do I really want to go through this again and give myself that big of a task? But then I listened to them and I was like, okay, these songs obviously are already written in a way that they are way heavier. They have way more breakdowns. And then I was like, so should I tell Manuel to change it all up? Or will I go with it and just take it as like a sign and keep the heaviness? And since I also felt like I had many issues, like I was feeling pretty depressed and burned out, and the emotions were just natural, like this anger and frustration. So I went with it and I was like, I know so much better now how to scream than back then, and I just have to get coaching and have to improve.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, that was kind of the process. I went with it, and now actually I've done it. I've had like a bit of coaching, and I practiced a lot more, and took my time this year to improve also as a heavy vocalist. And yeah, I'm pretty happy that I stick with it, and I hope it will get better in the long term. Yeah.
Absolutely. So just before you talk about the depression, it seems that the title of the album, Distortion, linked to mental health. Is
Hmm.
that right?
Yeah, absolutely. It is.
Can you explain us about it?
Yeah, it is. A Not
It's
an
not only
evolution.
it's not only distortion of the guitars, of course.
No. But it's funny because we do have. I feel like more distorted guitars on this album, and it's heavier, so it's a little hint maybe. But it's about cognitive distortion, which a term used in psychology, and I thought about so much about like distorted views of people and how our realities can be manipulated by our mental health or our environments and circumstances, that sometimes we are not who we really are. but we have a very different view of things suddenly. Like when you feel very bad, you will only see the bad things of life. When you feel super good, you will only see the good things about life. And that, but even deeper and more complicated, as what happens with mental illnesses, that your brain will find ways to manipulate the reality. And I've been confronted with that topic forever, like since I'm very, very young, since my mother is mentally ill, and almost everyone I know is mentally ill that I love. And so I've always wanted answers for why people behave certain ways, especially when they hurt you, because you will take things personally, but at some point in life, I learned that everything a person does is just a projection of themselves and has actually nothing to do with me most of the time. And that's when I, yeah, kind of dived in deeper into that topic of mental health and read books. And I jumped up on that term, cognitive distortion, on one of the recent books I've read. And it was a familiar term, but I was like, actually, that sums it up so well. Like, it kind of is like you can put this as the head of the entire story. Like, that's also what the album is about. It's about my personal experiences with my ways how I distort realities, but also about my environment and also about the world, because I went even bigger with assuming that maybe even people in big roles with a lot of power who do very shit things to the world might also have a distorted view, or like narcissism or other mental illnesses that they are not aware of, maybe even, or don't want to be aware of. And that actually our entire world is very much, or has a lot to do with distorted views. And yeah, that's what I felt like with this album. It's more like general than the ones before.
And also the lyrics talk about this situation.
Exactly, yeah. I talk about my own experiences. I talk about partnerships. I also talk about the environment and the world and denial and anxiety and ADHD. I've went with a lot of different topics this time, and that's also why it's like that colorful. It has many different elements, and I want people to kind of, or like point out how different a version of distortion can look like. That sometimes you can be, as I said, very enthusiastic. Sometimes you feel like you're the best and most powerful person.
Exactly. Yes,
Yeah, and that's why also the songs sound different here and there. So
absolutely. So, singing those lyrics, can we say that it's like a therapy for you?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, always. Every album is a very good therapy for me, and also singing them out is very helpful. Yeah.
So let's talk about the songwriting process of the album. Usually in Future Palace, who bring the main ideas?
Mm-hmm. Depends on the topic and the area, because we are like a very functioning brand, I would call it even like that, or company, because we do work a lot like a company since we're just three people. And I would say we are the product development area is like Manuel and I mostly.
Yes.
So our guitarist and I, we do the songwriting together. We go to the studio together. So he does even more of like the instrumentals, and he will do like all the instruments. He does all the instruments, and I do all the vocals, harmonies, and lyrics. And then in the studio, we sit there, work there together. And later on, I think I'm more like the creative department slash social media, because I'm part of the song, but I also do the concepts for music videos or everything that's kind of visual and has the topic Future Palace. I would say I'm like the soul of it, part like mainly, because it's so many stories of mine, personal stories. And yeah, when it comes to like headline shows, I'll also check like what should it look like, what story is it supposed to show, what are the lights gonna carry, what is the set list gonna be like, also for the album. And then Johannes does all the important stuff, to say, like he's our manager. He does our merch shop, he does our website, he's managing us, so he's also making sure the booking is, and talking to the booking, reaching out to people, doing our Patreon, doing everything. Like he's doing everything else pretty much as one person. So we wouldn't work with any without of us. So we are all very important for this band, and that's also why we don't have another member, because this combination of us three works very, very well and efficient. And we are a very good balance out of like a bit of chaos with me and very structured and very disciplined people. And then we balance each other out, I would say.
In fact, I had a question because you are a three-piece band without a bass player.
Yeah.
That's different from the natural configurations of a rock band. So why you don't have a bass player?
With exact the same answer I just said, because the hardest thing in this industry or in being a band or a company, whatever, is the combination of people and things in life in general. People are the reason things fuck up, nothing else. Maybe there are like earthquakes or something, but mainly it's humans that are the most important thing. And if a combination works, never stop a running system is our our topic, our theme, or what's a guideline, I don't know. And that's exactly what we do, and that's how we went very well these past years, with not changing a running system but only improving things here and there. And another band member would absolutely not be necessary, because unless we have even more task and that person would be willing to give like the 200% that we give, but that is very, very rare to find. Then we are also all from Berlin, which is a very, very great coincidence. And I just always say it's a win in the lottery that I have these two guys that I work with, and we will not risk anything to make that not work, because it is so hard to keep going.
But who play bass on the record? So
Manuel does, since we have a bass in the my microphone has changed. Oh well. We have a bass in the studio that we take, and I think fun fact with this album we took the bass of Peter, the bassist of NSOK, who we're also very close friends with. So it's his bass technically, but played by Manuel. Yeah.
okay, fantastic. So let's talk about some songs of the album. I selected three songs that I want to talk about. The first one is "The Echoes of Disparity" because it has a guest, Charlie Rohr from As Everything Unfolds. How she was involved on this song?
She was added pretty late on, because we started doing the song. I think one of the earliest songs we've done. Then we got to know her kind of through Instagram. We talked, and I don't know how it was just very natural how we connected. And I knew when I wrote the song already that this needs a feature, and it has to be a female singer who also screams and sings. And it just was a very well fit, because she does both of that. We already talked. That was very cool. I think our voices also match, and then it just came together. We asked her, and she was very spontaneous also. She said yes in a very short period of time and was able to be flexible, even though she was on tour, which we were very thankful for, because it is very hard to get features in a short time, because everyone is busy. Everyone's like touring or doing that and that. And so that was very cool to get her, even though she was kind of busy.
Right. So in Too Deep is a different song comparing to the others with a special electro vibe. Tell us more about that song.
Oh, I have never talked about that song yet. So, well, I think it is it fits in the picture of the album. It has like techno elements, it has heaviness, a typical Future Palace chorus. But the song was the first one we've done in the studio, funnily. We went in the studio and I was like, let's please take this song as a first, because I think it will work on its own. We actually wanted it as a single first, and we ended up not taking it as a single, because we had to kind of get into the working mode with the studio and kind of understand what the songs will be like after the studio. So it was like the first real Distortion song, to say so, because that was the one where we knew this is gonna be an album. And it's just a very good reflection of how I felt in that moment. It is about being absolutely overwhelmed by life, with all the tasks and all the things I've seen in my life in general and been through, and plus all this band stuff of touring and traveling through Europe like 4 times and always being gone. And then when you hear I just have to work my normal job, then I go back on tour and I always have to function. I always have to be strong. And that is like a theme that carried through my life. Like I've written a few songs about that, like Defeating Gravity from Run is also kind of about this, but this time it's way more frustrated and way more angry because it's like like a burnout kind of sensation. The song is supposed to feel like you're being chased by something. If I would make a music video, that would also look like that, like I'm running, 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 running. And I thought like these techno elements kind of
Exactly.
add to that feeling, like this,
Absolutely.
yeah, this moving feeling that you keep moving and moving. And then this chorus, it was very important for me to make it sound weak, but also stressed. And I went with a way lower register than I usually sing. And our producer was like, "Can you please sing higher? Like, it doesn't do the thing." And I'm like, "It's not supposed to do the thing. It's not supposed to sound like a typical Future Palace song." And he's like, "Well, but that's what people like and that's what works so well. And I don't even know how to make the chorus sound great." And I'm like, "I'm gonna leave it low." Because we had like a little first day discussion. I'm like, I don't want to go higher because it's exactly supposed to give that feeling of like, I just cannot do it anymore. And I feel like it does give you that kind of feeling when I listen to it. When I hear to the chorus, you kind of expect something like radio like, but then it goes kind of low and it's like, "Cause I'm in too deep." It's like, oh fuck, I don't want to go anymore. And that's pretty much the song. And with the techno elements, I sat there and told Chris, our producer, like, let's go on like as good as we can into that techno thing. Like let's make it very, very clear and very, very present. And he's like, "Are you sure about that?" I'm like, "Yeah, let's go." And I loved it. I was like, this is refreshing, this is fun, and this is what art is
Absolutely.
supposed to be, like different and trying things
Absolutely.
out. Yeah.
Just before you talk about the normal job, uh, be being a musician, be a singer in a band, with a record company, with a manager, with a team, with touring. Is it easy to mix a normal job with a rock career?
Yeah, I just made that joke a few days ago that we are all Hannah Montana. If you know her, like the series from Disney, that is exactly how it is. It's like a weird movie kind of thing. Like one day you play in an arena, the next day you work again on your laptop. I am very, very, very lucky and grateful that I planned my life a way that I always knew that I want to make music for a living. So I was always sure, like my number one priority with each job is that I'm flexible. And
Absolutely.
it would not be possible, absolutely not be possible if I would do a normal office job or anything else. My bandmates, we don't have the same jobs. Funnily, our guitarist is even a doctor in history, and he quit that job for the band to be more flexible. And also, he got kind of sick of it, and he's now like working in a retail, like in a store, to make this work, which is a lot of commitment you have to do.
Absolutely.
And I am very lucky that I am a social media manager on the site. I've always done social media since I am 14. I've had a YouTube channel. I do it for our band as well. And it's a very good fit because I can do it everywhere and I can do it on the
Absolutely.
road. I'm
Absolutely.
flexible. It's remote. And I do sometimes need to be at certain places to make photos and stuff. But I am very lucky that my the people I work with are very flexible. Since one of my people I'm employed at is Peter from NSOK, who makes things very, very good for me because he
Absolutely.
understands so well how
Exactly.
this works, and I'm very thankful for that. That I can be that flexible. Because yeah, I don't know how I would do that any other way at this point, and it is hard, this contrast, but I also don't know it different. I
Mm.
but I feel like as more and more and more the band grows, the tasks become more, and yeah, the weight gets heavier. We all feel that, each of us. We really hope that we will make more money of the band at some point to
Mm.
actually be artists. Yeah.
Oh, exactly. So I have another song to talk about. Is They Take What They Want. It's like an elevator, this song, with ups and downs. Really interesting song. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, that's I think the most artistic song we've ever done, or the
Absolutely.
most the song where we had like no limits. And that was also a song we had discussion with our producer. He's like, "What the fuck is this song?" He was
Absolutely.
actually not even covering it. He's like opening it and he's like, "I don't know what the fuck to do with the song." And we're like, "Well, okay." Like he was also pretty stressed. Then he's like, Let's listen to it again tomorrow. Like, let's see what we'll make out of it." And I'm like, well, the song is absolutely not supposed to be like a typical song of ours.
Absolutely.
It is supposed to be artsy. We're making an album, so let's have fun with making an album, because making an album includes doing songs like that for me, or gives me that freedom. And with the past albums, we didn't really take that freedom as much. We still grew so much and wanted to make every song a hit. And this time I was like, I want to make art. Like, I want to have fun. I want to show my emotions. And yeah, let's make a song that is not going to be a single for once. Because our main goal with every album is always we make each song as good as a single. But I think, yeah, why make it boring? It sounds kind of chaotic, and it sounds pretty close to the demo with its structure. And maybe now, after a bit of distance, I think here and there I would have made some changes. It is a bit too up
Ups
and
and down.
down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I would have maybe kept it more aggressive, or more like, yeah, I would remove this one part of it, but whatever. Maybe it's good. And it's about narcissism. The song, it's written in a perspective of a person that is a narcissist and wants all the power and everything for themselves. And yeah, I got well, inspired, but I got very frustrated by the war situations in this world, which have just gotten worse and worse.
Mm.
But yeah, it's very scary. I mean, I'm in Berlin. We're very close to the war.
Yes.
We do have many refugees here. It is heartbreaking. We've recorded our music videos in Latvia, Riga, so also kind of close to that area, and you can kind of feel that it's close from the, I don't know, from the people there, and the mood was kind of different. And it's so scary that one person who has, who just wants power, can ruin so many lives. And that's just what the song is about this distorted view of someone
Mhm.
who's obsessed with power, and that they will do anything for that, no matter if you are innocent or not, no matter who you are. And I say they take what they want and not what they need. And that's my main message. Like, you don't need to do that. You don't need any more. And that's what makes it so obvious to me. Like, you want more than you need. Yeah, that's what it's about.
Great message. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks.
So let's talk about live shows. In October, you will begin a European tour. And of course, you will be in France, in Paris, the 2nd December. Tell us what a Future Palace show is like.
Good question. I think we do have our team now that we're like very familiar with. We grew as a team, our live team. We now have, for the headline tour, we will have more people than ever working with us.
Yes.
So we always make sure we have a cool light show. We've been working with our light designer almost since day one, since he's the best friend of our drummer slash manager Johannes. So he's kind of part of the band at this point. He's been doing the first music video for us, and now he's doing our biggest shows ever. So that's very nice that we have him, and he's doing a very good job and is a very talented light designer. And then, so you can always expect at least good light design, I would say. And we're also planning that out right now for the headline tour. I always want to make sure that the concert experience is kind of like a story and an emotion that you go through. In an interview yesterday, I got asked, is it an escape to go at a concert? And I said, no, it's a confrontation with our concerts. Because we will not run away from the pain. We will look into it, dig into it, and feel it. And I talk about my stories on stage. I talk about what I've been through, about painful things. With our headline tour, I have more time, so I can talk even
Yeah,
more.
absolutely. Absolutely.
And it almost every show somebody's crying, and in the next song again they're laughing, and it's very emotional, I would say. And that's what I love about it. That's what our music is about. It's about realness and connecting to it, and hopefully feeling understood with what you feel, and that you're not alone with it. That's always what I want to tell people. And yeah, with these songs and this album and the show, I always want to represent the emotions as good as I can, and doing maybe interludes that will carry that story. And yeah, that's just emotional. That maybe that's what sums it up.
Is it easy for your voice to play each night, uh, one day after day after day after day? Is it difficult to have the same quality singing?
Yeah, it is. It is okay for like, I think sometimes like the second and third show, my voice is even better than the first show because it warms up. But it's not even like the shows one on one another, like after another, but you have breaks in between so often. You have like 5 shows a week off, five,
Ah,
four
okay,
shows,
okay.
and then your voice is very like very confused. It's like same with sports when you run a marathon and then don't do it again. Because when I'm not on tour, I work on a laptop. I don't move much. I don't speak much. It's the biggest contrast, and this up and down is pretty confusing. So I have to like warm up in between and keep it going, which I never really do because yeah, it's exhausting. And last tour I had many issues with my vocals because I didn't have much time to practice, still had a bad technique, which now improved. So fingers crossed that this time everything will be good. So not the best technique. That was our first time ever playing 90 minutes, I think, or 70 minutes. So our longest set ever. And my voice was not that prepared for it. And yeah, and I got sick a lot of times on this tour because we had a van tour. We took a van and drove through Europe. So we had a show, we'll go to the hotel, have like 5 hours of sleep, wake up 6 a.m. and be in the van again. And it would be winter, and we were in this van with bad air, no good rest. So your voice is not really recharging. Very, very, very stressful. Then I work in the van, so stress is also very bad for the voice. And it was more like a survival thing last time, to be honest, than anything else. And this time we have a nightliner where we sleep, we have less stress. I'm better prepared, and yeah, let's hope it will be good because I do take care of my voice a lot. Like I
Absolutely.
am psychopath with that. I do everything you can do so my voice works. And even with that, I lost my voice last tour with one show where I had to improvise and make it shorter, and I cried so much after that show, and I was like, everyone's disappointed. This is going to be the end, and like distorted view once again, like very dramatic. But yeah, in the end it worked again. The final show worked, and I hope this tour will be better. Yeah.
Absolutely. So we will be there the 2nd December here in Paris to see you live.
Nice.
So thank you very much for all these informations about the new album Distortion. It's a good album. We love a lot this album. So thank you
Thanks.
very much. And we hope you, of course, the best
Thank you
for
so
Distortion.
much. So let's hope we have a 6 show in Paris. Right.
Thank you very much, Maria, and see you the 2nd December in Paris.
All right. See you then. Have a good
Thank
day.
you. Bye.
Bye bye.